Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Politicians think our heads zip up the back. They think that we are incredibly stupid and that we won't notice when they start trying to pull out the wool over our eyes. But we're not stupid and we do notice. And this can be exemplified by a wonderful example of what Angela the Growler Rayner is attempting to do with local authorities. Effectively, she wants to reduce democracy. She says efficiencies. What she actually means is make councils bigger and fewer. Merge councils, make the local authority a much bigger area covering bigger amounts of land and more people, and therefore diluting your vote. And rather than being a few hundred people or say a few thousand people having a local councillor, it'll be tens of thousands of people having one local councillor, because the councils themselves will expand to cover these bigger sort of proportions of the country. What this does mean is fewer councillors, which of course makes it easier to control. It also amalgamates, and you get less detail, shall we say. The perception is that if you've got a large enough area, it will be predominantly Labour. Whereas if you have lots of smaller areas, you've got little pockets of Tory here, Reform there, Lib Dem somewhere else. And so you're getting these various views put in. What Labour are thinking is if you have a large enough area and you can encapsulate more towns, more working areas in, you're more likely to get Labour-controlled local authorities. This is what they're attempting to do. And it gets worse, of course, because not only are you having democracy removed in total because of the dilution of the value of your vote, you're also having democracy removed because it's one step further away. Rather than having someone local to your area who knows the people, knows the area, knows the problems, or knows the advantages, for example, or the good things about the area because it's a small, well-known area to them, you've got these vast areas with people who may live the other side and who know nothing about your particular needs or the problems, etc. And so you're losing locality. You're having the dilution of your vote, and you're losing the locality of your vote. And these are two important issues, as well, of course, as I say, of having that more admixture in order to create broader strokes of political power rather than having the fine detail of lots of different voices. You're going to have vaguely the same voice. And as I say, with fewer of them, it's controllable. And that's another reason for having mayors. If you only had a mayor with absolute power like Sadiq Khan, you only have to corrupt, bribe, cajole, etc. one person. Whereas if you've got committees and lots of councillors here and there and everything, it's much harder to control. This is there. This is obvious. This is seen. And that's why they are so obviously keen on it. They absolutely want total control and to remove any voices with which they disagree. We must, of course, reject it. Now, they're not going to offer these changes to the people in the form of any kind of referendum. You will be told that this is happening. It will be imposed upon you. Again, removal of democracy. Is this what Labour voters want? The removal of democracy? Because I tell you, the one thing they definitely don't want is they don't want the bill. And that, I'm afraid, is the other thing that they're about to do. And this is her words. This is Angela Rayner herself saying this. That when all these new big super authority councils are put in place, the debt shall remain with the new councils. They're changing it, but they're not taking on these debts. They're saying, well, any local debt where these councils are bankrupt or whatever, that will remain, but it will remain in where the people are. So not only are they taking away your democracy, they're presenting you with a bill that currently stands at £43 billion. That's got to be paid off via the new council tax. Who's going to be paying it? You are. There you go. And what are you going to do about it? Well, nothing. You can't vote them out, can you? You can't change anything. And once these new councils are established, do you think the councillors that are sitting there now on very large sums of money as an annual salary are going to suggest, oh, let's go back to the old way? No, of course not. Human nature. It has to be fought. It has to be rejected. We have to do something to get rid of this dictatorship that's enforcing itself while the people of this country sit back and just go, well, it's going to happen anyway, innit? And they're not going to allow it to happen. They're going to applaud themselves into slavery and serfdom. You'd think in a modern world, you'd want democracy, you'd want the voices to be heard, but not Labour. Marxist dictatorship all the way. When this does happen, just think to yourself, oh yeah, he did say that, didn't he? He did warn us. And then, too late. It's too late. And just think, that's all because 20% of the electorate voted Labour. Find out who votes Labour. When you find a Labour voter, let them know how displeased you are. Let them know that they are complete and utter criminal, shyster, wanker traitors. In no uncertain terms, because they are. They are destroying this country. Now, of course, a lot of them wouldn't have realised they were doing it because they had no idea when they were voting, for a socialist government that it would be a Marxist government. They didn't realise exactly what lies they were being sold. Of course not. Nobody expected Starmer to lie about every single thing he's done. To stand there with the waspy women and then fuck the waspy women. To stand there talking about pensions and then fuck the pensioners. To stand there and talk about the growth of this nation's economy and then fuck the economy. And now, of course, everybody's in that boat. And that boat is sinking because Starmer's at the bottom of the hull with a drill, drilling holes. He's okay. He's got his life jacket. He's WEF. He's backed up with BlackRock. His future is completely assured. He's just letting the rest of us burn to death in his bonfire of shite Marxist dictatorships. And you are letting it happen because you're sitting here watching this video. You're not out on the streets. We need to be out on the streets. Pitchforks, burning torches, Ceausescuing these motherfuckers. They're destroying this country in front of our eyes. And we're letting them. £43 billion bill to have democracy removed. Are you willing to pay it? I'm not. Every vote, you must vote, and you must not waste a vote. Don't just sit back and not vote. If we're allowed a vote next year in May, make sure everybody you know gets out and votes and votes and votes. Do not sit at home. Do not waste your vote. Do not vote. But don't vote Labour. And get everyone that gets a vote to vote other than Labour. And get every single Labour one out. And make it clear to your local Labour MP that they're done. That they're absolutely done. And that if we're allowed another election in 2029, and that's not guaranteed yet, is it? That they are finished. Make sure they know. Be angry. Stay angry. Thanks very much.